I want to share an incredible story with you. This is a personal story of mine, and it relates to this week. Something monumental just happened, and I want to share it with you. I used to live in Syria. I lived in Syria with my wife and a couple of cousins of mine, back about 6, 7 years ago. And we lived there for about 2 years, and we were learning Arabic and teaching English and just traveling around the region and having a wonderful time. And through that process, we met so many incredible, nice, hospitable people who went out of their way to help us in any difficulty that we were in. And they would always say, one day when we're in difficulty, then you will also help us. Of course, we're all aware of what has transpired in Syria over the last 6, 7 years or so. And as devastating as it's been, there have been some good stories that have also come out of it. And one of those stories is we've been working with this one particular family in bringing them as refugees to Canada. Now, when we really wanted to begin this journey, and when problems started in Syria and we started to reach out and try to bring people, at that time the government wasn't as ready to have Syrian refugees. And then all of a sudden, about 3 years ago, there was a big push to have more Syrian refugees come into Canada. So we sort of jumped on that bandwagon and started the process of where we had to raise funds and come up with a group of people to help this family when they arrive. So anyway, my good friend Tariq and his family, these are people who helped us, were close to us in Syria a number of years ago. We received news that they will be arriving on July 6th. And we received this news this week, this is just the most incredible news for us. We're just looking so forward to meeting them at the airport. This is a story of a couple of things. This is a story of giving. When you give, then you receive, right? It's a cycle. So have that mentality of giving. And while giving, you feel a deep sense of happiness, right? And then when receiving, then it brings you closer to the people who are helping you as well, right? So give in order to receive, right? Or just give for the sake of God, for the sake of your love for people, right? For the sake of humanity, give. And then you will also receive in this world and in the hereafter, right? But even further to that also this is the story of perseverance. At the beginning, when we wanted to start a sponsorship process, we were told, it's basically like a very difficult process, and it may not even work for the next 5, 6, 10 years or so, and so don't even bother starting. And that was pretty devastating. But then all of a sudden, things changed with the Canadian government. And then, so we started the process, but it's been a very lengthy process. And at many times, it just seemed like nothing was really happening, whether it was between us and our lawyers, or between the lawyers and the government, or submitting the papers and it's the government that's holding back, or there's just such a long lineup and you don't know when your turn is going to be in queue. And but we've reached out to people in the government to help us with that. I guess things take their due process, but you have to have that goal, and then you have to keep on working towards it. And you keep on working and working and working. And even when it seems like absolutely nothing has transpired or nothing has really worked, you just can't give up. You got to keep on staying the path, and eventually you'll see results. And we're about to see those results soon. We're incredibly excited. I want to say a special thank you to all the people who have stepped forward and said that they're ready to help when the family comes, as well as all the people who have stepped forward in providing funds to move the family from Syria to Turkey so that they can be called displaced, and so that they could be actually come into Canada as refugees. The people who have spent funds on basically paying their bills on a monthly basis in Turkey as well. and then the people who have contributed funds to when they arrive in Canada and for the next year of their expenses, which is on us as well. It's been an incredible journey, but I'm just looking so forward to continuing that journey with Tariq and his family here. Stick with it. Keep on going. If you're doing good things will happen.